Terror has once again raised its ugly head in Jammu and Kashmir. On April 22nd, armed terrorists fired at a resort in Pahalgam, one of India's most loved tourist destinations. Let me tell you, this was not just an attack on few people. It was an attack on India's peace, India's freedom, India's tourism and India's future. The cowardly act that has sent shockwaves across the nation was massive. Travel agents are now flooded with hotel booking cancellations and families are abandoning their holiday plan out of fear. One of the busiest tourist hubs in the country is under a cloud of terror. All because a few brainwashed cowards picked up guns instead of building their future. Well, this was not just a random shooting. It was a planned act of terror meant to target civilians, cripple the economy and destroy the image of a peaceful Kashmir that India has been rebuilding for years. Let's be clear, terrorists are not freedom fighters. They are bloodthirsty criminals funded and brainwashed by forces that hate India's rise. Their only goal is death, destruction and division. And every single bullet that they fire is not just against a person, it's against every Indian's right to live free and fearless. Now, this terrible attack has shaken Kashmir. Let's talk about the timings now. During Vice President J.D. Vance's visit to India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi's trip to Saudi Arabia, news came that 26 Hindu tourists were killed in a brutal attack in Pahalgam. Reports say that they were targeted just because of their religion. The tragedy has caused anger and sadness not only in India but also among Indian Americans and Hindu organizations in the United States. Ajay Bhutoria, who once advised the US President Joe Biden and also co-chairs the Economic Committee for Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, strongly condemned the attack. He said, "My prayers go out to the victims and their families. Let's unite against terror." A powerful statement also came from Hindus Advancing Human Rights Initiative, which is part of Hindu Pact, an American Hindu organization. Rahul Sur, the executive director of HAHRI, was very direct. He said the world has been warned many times about the danger of Islamic fundamentalism and it's time to take strong action, including putting sanctions on Pakistan which make use of supporting terror groups operating in Kashmir. Ajay Shah, the convener of Hindu Pact, also spoke out about this particular matter. He said the message from the terrorist state across India's western border is clear, referring to Pakistan. On behalf of American Hindus, he expressed deep sympathy for the families of the victim. Another major organization, the Kashmir Overseas Association, also condemned the attack. The KOA represents Kashmiri Pandits, a Hindu community that has suffered for decades in Kashmir. In a very emotional statement, they said that this attack was not just random violence. It was a part of a long history of suffering for Kashmiri Hindus. KOA reminded everybody that Kashmiri Pandits faced genocide in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Thousands of Hindu families had to flee Kashmir after facing deadly threats from Islamic militants. Even today, the few Kashmiri Hindu families who remain in the region live under constant fear. The KOA called on the government of India to take strong action to dismantle terror networks operating in Kashmir and protect civilians, specifically Hindus, migrant workers and tourists who are vulnerable to such attacks. Kashmir has been a conflict zone for more than 70 years now. After the partition in 1947, Pakistan and India fought over Kashmir, and since then, terror groups supported by Pakistan have repeatedly targeted both security forces and civilians in the region. The situation worsened for Hindus in 1990s when many were forced to leave the valley. Since then, Kashmir has seen a slow return of tourists and some economic activities. But terror attack like this one shows that peace is still fragile. India is no longer the India of 1990. Today's India knows how to defend itself. Today's India knows that terrorism must be crushed at the roots, without mercy, without hesitation. The Indian Army, security forces and agencies are working day and night to hunt down the enemies of the peace. The time for soft words are over. It is time to identify, isolate, and eliminate every single terror networks which are operating inside Kashmir and hold their foreign masters accountable. Here's a message loud and clear. Your guns cannot break India's spirit. Your bombs cannot kill India's dream. Your hatred will be buried under the strength of billions of Indians who refuse to be scared. Kashmir will rise, Kashmir will flourish, and the terrorists will rot in the dustbin of the history. Indian American leaders and Hindu organizations across the US have also condemned the attack in the strongest terms. They demand justice, accountability, and international sanction against nations that shelter and support terrorism. If the world truly believes in human rights, it must stand with India against Islamic terrorism in Kashmir. Every life lost is a reminder. There can be no peace with terrorists, only total defeat.